Curtis, running with Bill, kicking it with Bill. I'm with Johnny King and Warren Daniels. Two of the originals. Go way back with Fatback Band. Warren Daniels, I'm glad to see you again. Johnny King, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Fatback.
Great, great, great. I want to tell the reason why I have these two on the phone is because these two guys here, we started together in Queens, New York. We started playing cabarets, little dances, and doing all kind of little stuff musically, playing little clubs and everything, and all that stuff developed into me starting my band and Warren starting his band. Johnny King started his band too, and we all started from playing together. And that was a great experience playing. Well, I think I met Warren Daniels playing with an old friend of mine, Doc Bagby. Warren was playing saxophone with Doc Bagby. Doc Bagby, if you don't know, it was an organ player and a producer and a writer and arranger in New York. And he did a lot of sessions. And Warren, tell us a little something about Doc Bagby. You knew him as a person.
He was what you call a no-nonsense band leader. He'll fire you in a hurry if you're not doing what he wants done. But otherwise, he was one of the greatest musicians I ever met in my life. But he was no nonsense at all. I've seen him fire some of the best musicians I've ever met. You know, for being late, drinking too much, or a lot of things that guys do. But otherwise, man, he was a real gentleman. And we became very close. I hated when we lost him. I'll never forget I learned a lot about handling people from Doc Bagby because he kept change in his pocket. Whenever he fired a guy, he's already been to the phone, already called somebody to replace him. And when we do those shows, that's the way it was. At the end of the night, he said, well, you won't be here tomorrow. I got somebody else. He said, why? He said, I have to let you go. You know, you broke one of my rules. That's the way he was. That's about what I can tell you about Doc.
Now, Warren, do you remember any of the recordings that Doc Bagby did that produced or something? So I think he put some records out under his name, didn't
he? Yes, he did. I played the horn on him. He had, I can't think of the names, but he had quite a few. And then we recorded with the 3 Degrees, Etta Jones, Etta James. He was with Larry Lucy. You remember Larry Lucy, the guitar player?
Guitar player, yeah.
Yeah, well, they got together and we were recording with everybody. And then I got with Jimmy Lewis and I did Cotton Comes to Harlem. I played the solo when she's dancing on that bale of cotton or whatever it was. Yeah, we did the whole movie, The Cotton Comes to Harlem. But I did that with Jimmy Lewis. And we did a couple other movies. I can't remember the names, but Jimmy Lewis was, into doing movies because he was doing hair and he met a lot of people. And that's how I got into that, But Doc Bagby we played opposite Tito Puente. Oh, man. Then I did some things with Lou Rawls. I opened for Lou Rawls 3 or 4 times. And, the regular stuff, and down at Showboat, we were doing the Four Tops, the the Chantels, the Shirelles, and you know those groups.
Showboat was in the Empire State Building, wasn't it?
Pardon?
Showboat. That was a club down in the Empire State Building. Or you mentioned
No,
that.
this was in Atlantic City. It's a Showboat.
Oh, okay.
Now I did the World Trade Center with Diana Ross, my band. We did her birthday party.
Richard, I wanted to ask you. Speaking of Fatback, do you remember that first album we did down the Blue Rock? The very first album with Fatback was down the Blue Rock, and I think George Adams was on that session. Johnny King. Do you recall that?
Yes, I was down there all night long. Yes.
Yeah. On that session, we did a tune because I was telling people that the way I got that session was that I told people I had some country and western funk, and what was the closest thing we had to country and western was, I'm trying to think of that. What was that tune we did? Some of the tunes in that first album, Johnny. You remember?
Did that guitar player song
Oh, yeah, I know the tune. The Wichita Lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Johnny,
we did two more.
Huh?
We did three of them. Three country western songs.
What was the other?
But Wichita Lineman was the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Johnny introduced me to this tune by the Stylistics, Bet You By Golly Wow, and I recorded that on the soprano on that album. I played soprano as a solo on that album. I learned that tune from Johnny by him singing it on the gig. That's how I got that tune. You sung it so well, man. You sung your butt off.
I can't. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just telling you that's when I fell in love with the Stylistics, and I worked with them in Atlantic City a couple of times. But I realized that they were a superior group at that time, man.
They were.
And I like them better than the Temptations.
Yeah, but they had some soulful songs. One of my favorite songs is that girl wrote, Linda Creed. She wrote that song that I love. I can't even think of that. Oh boy. And anyway, John, did you take the solo one on Wichita Lineman?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also did that. What was that? The other tune that Johnny was singing, used to sing all the time. The guitar player wrote it. What was that other tune on that, Johnny? You were singing.
I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I think Earl took that solo.
I didn't sing nothing on the album.
But what was the name of that tune? They used to sing that song a lot on stage.
Oh man, we did everybody's tunes. That's hard to remember because we didn't miss anything.
You guys going way back.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
well, we're old. What do you expect? Yeah, those are the good days, man. We had some good times, man.
Yeah, we did.
I'll tell you another good time gig was a gig we used to do at the naval hospital. You remember that, Warren?
All the time. Ain't that something? I live across the street.
yeah. It would be every Thursday night we played over there at the naval hospital.
Oh yeah, that was a wonderful job, man.
I was coming from New York, man, on the subway, coming out there to do that thing. Every night, 3 o'clock at night, on the subway with my guitar.
Oh yes, I remember when I bought that Fender amp with the JBL speakers in it, and I sold it to Johnny. That amp weighed about 100 pounds, man. I couldn't. Oh, that was too much amp for me. You remember that, Johnny?
You know who had to carry that damn amp? I had to carry that amp because Johnny couldn't carry the damn amp. I had to carry it.
Yeah, well, you were the one beating up everybody with them loud drums. You beat everybody up. Oh man, let me tell you, you don't need electronic drums at all. You already got it.
Well, don't forget, I was young and full of energy at that time. Now I can't hardly hold the sticks up there now.
I don't believe that. I believe if you wanted to, you'd go out and play a gig. I believe you're not going to stop playing until they throw dirt on you, man.
You got 50 then, wasn't you, Bill?
Big what?
You about 50 then, wasn't you?
Man, I was, I say I was about 16. I was feeling 16. I was feeling that, eh? I was feeling that.
Johnny, Billy is a big band drummer. That's why he's so loud. He's used to playing with 15, 16 pieces. That's where he got that from. Your friend, you know who else does that? Belton Evans. You remember him?
Yeah. Really? Yeah, Belton taught me.
Yeah, well, because you and him, you're the two of the loudest drummers I've ever heard in my life.
You know, Belton Belton and I went to high school together.
Oh yeah? Oh,
yeah, we went to high school together. We was in that marching band together.
Wow, man. Is he alive?
No, Belton passed about 10 years ago.
Oh man. Good God, man. Oh, Belton Evans. I never will forget him.
Belton taught me way back when I was in high school. He was playing in the band then. And I was trying to learn how to hold the sticks. Belton gave me my first gig. He gave me my first gig in New York when I went up there. Belton, the one that after he got my first gig, he got my first gig going on the road together. He was very instrumental in my career.
Well, what about Walter Kelly? How'd you went to school with him, didn't you?
Walter Kelly, I went with him to school. We was in the band together. Walter Kelly was in the band. I tell you somebody else who was in the band, Teeny Brooks. Teeny Brooks was also in the band.
Wow, you must be the only one left.
I think I am out that group.
Good God. Well, that's all about it. I tell you, one of the good gigs I enjoyed was opening for Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls is a nice guy, man. I opened for him 3 times over there in the Meadowlands. Oh, what a nice guy, you know? See, those are the kind of bands you should be in. The 16 pieces, you'd be right at home.